everyone. Welcome to our Reactor session today. Thank you so much for joining us for the Got Bots 1, Intro to Bots and Ethical Bot Creation. This is the first in our Got Bots 5-part series, and I will share a link to the series page for this if you want to sign up for some of the other upcoming sessions in the chat here momentarily. Before I bring on Chloe and before we get started, I have a few quick things to go over. Please ask questions using the live YouTube chat. We'll be taking those throughout the presentation and getting to as many of those as possible. In the chat, I'll also be sharing some links to the Reactor meetup page and monthly newsletter if you're interested in checking out what other sessions we have coming up. If you haven't already, please check in using our event check-in, aka.ms/reactor check-in and event ID 13975, and that is in the chat. By checking in, you'll receive some links to the content that will go along with today's session. Today's session will be added to our Reactor YouTube page in about 24 to 48 hours. So if you are unable to join us for the whole session today, or you want to go back and listen again or share it with your friends, it will be there. And then finally, at the very end, I will share a link to our Reactor survey. If you do have a few minutes, we greatly appreciate your feedback. I am now going to pass it over to Chloe.
Hello, everyone. Hi. Ooh, so exciting. We've got 17 people here waiting with us. I am just getting myself situated here, getting my lighting and my background figured out. But for everybody who is in the chat, I would love to know, what brings you here today? What do you want to learn about bots? Apologies for kind of the scrappy background here. Let's see. I might remove it here. And all right. Here we go. Let me know in the chat, what's your experience with bots? What brings you here to learn about bots? What kind of bots do you like? What kind of bots do you not like? This session, of course, is our very first session. We're going to do one of these every Thursday this month, and we're going to be talking all about bots. This first one, we're going to talk about ethical intro to bots and ethical bot creation. So just kind of an overview of what is a bot, why do we use bots, what are some examples of good bots, what are some examples of bad bots. There are some out there, unfortunately. We're also going to talk about different ways to make bots, because during this series, we're going to be making bots a bunch of different ways. And yeah. We're also going to go over how to make bots using Q&A Maker with Azure Bot Service, making bots with the Azure portal, and then, of course, a show and tell with bot makers, which will be really exciting. We may even have a show and tell guest today. But before I get any further, and you know what? I may remove my background. Let's see. It's getting a little scrappy over here. Let's do no background, or let's do a different background maybe. Okay, well, this will do for now because it's got all our links up here. But my name is Chloe Condon, and I am a senior cloud advocate here at Microsoft. I work with students. I work with a lot of folks who are beginning with programming. And I should also mention my background is a non-traditional background. So I come to the world of technology through the performing arts world. I spent a lot of time as an actress, singer, musical theater performer, did a lot of writing as well. And I love working at Microsoft now because I get to combine a lot of those skills and teach people really fun, creative ways to use bots. So you'll notice in this series, a lot of my bots are very quirky and unique and silly. That is very much my aesthetic. I like to have fun while I learn. So hopefully if you're joining us today, you're here to have fun. You're ready to have fun because we're going to be learning all about bots. A couple housekeeping things before we get started. These links, I got a couple links over here. So this link right here, aka.ms/gotbotslinks, is going to bring you to all of the different resources that we will have for this. So let me make sure that works real quick, aka.ms/gotbotslinks. Yes, so that is going to take you to a link to a tutorial, but going forward, GotBots links will be a dev2 post that will have every single resource for this series that going forward. So in the interim, it's linking to a Learn module that'll prepare us for next week's session. But in the meantime, if you want to get ahead of the game for next week's session, GotBots Links is going to take you to an awesome Learn module about an introduction to Azure Logic Apps. But there's no need to follow along during this. Today, we're just going to be kind of talking about bots, really. I'm very passionate about bots. I love bots. Yeah, so as I mentioned, today is just going to be very introductory. What is a bot? Why do we use bots? What do we use them for? What are some ways that we shouldn't be using them? Ethical bot creation. Let me know in the chat. Again, what your experience is with bots. Would love to know. Would love to know what brings you here. But in the meantime, I'm going to show you a couple of my favorite bots. So a little bit about me. I love to make bots. I've made a lot of bots during the pandemic, if you can believe it. I started doing bots because my dear friend and coworker here, Jay, let me bring up my screen here so I can kind of show you. Ooh, this is much better, much more less pixelated. I'm going to make myself a little smaller and put myself in this folder. Alrighty, here I am being small in this folder. That's much better. Now I'm a lot less pixelated. So, so this is the Learn module that'll bring you to if you go to that link right now. But of course, that will be updated as a Dev2 post very soon with every resource to all the links that we have. But I would like to take you back to early in the quarantine, where my dear friend PJ, who may be joining us later if we're lucky, I very last minute asked him if he wanted to be a guest on this, so we shall see. But my friend PJ, who here I will share what PJ looks like so y'all can have a visual. Mets around on Twitter, give him a follow. He is my co-creator of many of these bots. PJ is a high school teacher, or I should say was a high school teacher. A year ago, he was a high school teacher learning how to program. And he asked me, we had a similar love for comedy and bots. And he said, could we build a bot that he had seen a tweet that said, I wish there was I think it was something that said, I wish there was something that every morning would tell me, let's go girls, to start out my day. And if you're unfamiliar with Shania Twain is an American singing artist that sings this famous song, which I'm going to bring up for everyone right now, just because I know we have a lot of, let us know in the chat where you're joining us from. I would love to know. Are you joining us from the US? Are you joining us from overseas in Europe and Africa? Where are you joining us? Asia? Would love to know. But Shania Twain sings a song that famously says, let's go girls. And it's a song called Man, I Feel Like a Woman. And this is what the intro, I won't play the whole song because we do work at Microsoft, but we can't afford the rights, of course, to this song. But this is how the song starts. Oops, I have it on 2x speed. This says a lot about me because I play all my videos on 2x speed. But this is what the song sounds like. Let's go, girls. Okay, you can listen to the whole song on your own because we can't afford the rights to play the song. But yeah, so he was like, what if we made a Twitter bot that every day, every morning, tweeted, let's go, girls, similar to the song. And I said, PJ, that is a fantastic idea. I would love to build this bot with you. And thus, Shaniabot was born. So this is the first bot that we built together. Ooh, I see people in the chat here. We've got people coming from Florida. Ooh, I miss Florida. I miss Universal Studios so much. Taiwan, Australia. Oh my gosh, from everywhere. Canada, Sydney, Australia, Wisconsin. Wow, we really have a bunch of different folks tuning in. This is awesome. I'll have to tweet in a second too and let people know that we're getting started here. But yeah, so Shaniabot was born. This is the lovely Shaniabot here. And basically, Shaniabot started as a very, 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 very simple Azure Logic app. Ooh, y'all. Someone just joined. Okay, I'm going to introduce him in a sec. The co-creator of Shaniabot has joined the chat. All right. Ooh, New York. We've got so many folks here. I'm gonna bring in the co-creator of this bot in a second here to chat a little about Shaniabot because I think the story is best told with the co-creator. So y'all, special surprise guest, welcome to the stream, PJ Metz. Hello,
I have
PJ.
I have no idea how my audio sounds right now, so I apologize if I sound like I'm talking through a wind tunnel.
You sound great. Thank you so much for joining us last minute. We won't keep you too long, PJ. You can I'm just telling, so this is a new series, a brand new series I'm doing all about bots. It's an intro to bot series we're doing with the Reactor. And I was just telling them about the origin of Shania.
Oh my goodness.
Who better to tell the story with than you? So, okay, I was just the part where I was saying, you came to me with the tweet and you're like,
Yeah.
can we make this? Can we build a bot that would just say, let's go girls? We'll tag team. Then what happened?
So, first I had no idea. So brand new to coding, and I'm still brand new to all of this. But she told me, yeah, we can make that. We'll totally make that. Let's meet up Saturday. And I said, okay, well, let's meet up Saturday. And it was, this is when I was working as a teacher, so I had a little, only had weekends really. And I showed up, and I had blocked off like 2 hours of my day. I was like, we're going to be writing code. We're going to be like doing stuff. And I show up, and she's like, okay, so let's go to Azure Logic Apps. And she navigated there and shared her screen. And 30 minutes later, she goes,
it's going to take like 10 minutes, okay? And
yeah.
Chloe, I'm not good at programming. It's not going to take 10 minutes.
10 minutes is like how long it takes me to open an IDE. Like, I didn't know what was going on. And she's like, oh, here it is. And we didn't have to like get our API keys. We didn't have to do any of that. We just created a Twitter account, connected it to Azure, and then told it when it was going to start. And it started. And she was like, okay. So 30 minutes later, she was like, we're done. We should hang out again and do more. And I was like, oh, that's it. It was so simple. I had no idea it could be that simple. It got more complicated later.
It did get a lot more complicated.
Because we started writing the code.
This series, PJ, and this is my chance to thank you on the air, is in fact brought to you a lot by the work that you and I did during the pandemic building these bots. Because here, I'll share with folks, and PJ, this may even be new to you. So this series that y'all are joining for right now, live, is part of the Got Bots series, which is going to be every Thursday at 3. So if you're here now, you're part of the party.
You're here.
You are here. And this first one, today we're talking intro to bots. So we're just doing an overview of bots and talking about ethical bot creation. PJ, I'm going to be talking about shirt bots, which I'm sure you're familiar with.
I watched that journey.
Oh, what a journey. So we're going to cover that today. We're going to, next week, be talking about, here, let me make this a little bigger for folks. I'm dealing with... Okay, there we go. Zooming it in. So, whoa, too much.
It's a fine line for Zoom.
So today is all about intro to bots and ethical bot creation, because I think if you're going to learn how to build bots, it's super, super duper important to build them ethically and make sure they're not being abusive or harming anyone or, just being... We don't want any jerk bots.
Bots are meant to be fun. Like, that's the way that you and I approached it, is we're doing these things just to use code to add, like, some laughter and joy and happiness to the world. That's it.
And that's the way it is. That's Faith Hill. That's not Shania, right?
Who is... I think it's Shania.
No, it's Celine.
Is it Celine? They're kind of the same person in my mind. Just one is operatic and one is country.
I think that's Celine Dion. Tell us in the chat if you know who sings that song.
Do you know who sings That's the Way It Is?
Okay, now it's gonna drive me crazy. I'm gonna look it up.
Maria Morales got it. Celine Dion, she's right.
Celine Dion.
Thank you.
I heard it in the
Thank you,
voice.
Maria.
Maria, we appreciate you. This second one, so next week, the 8th, we're going to be making bots with Logic Apps. Maybe if we're lucky, PJ will be free and come back. But
who knows?
Just like PJ said, when he first started out with bots, I wanted to teach I wanted to like zoom all the way out and be like, here's the easiest way to make a bot. Here's like a little bit harder way to make a bot. And then we like kept adding features to our bot that honestly made it better. We'll show you those in a second. Then week 3, we're going to be talking about making bots with Q&A Maker and Azure Bot Service. Have you done this, PJ? I don't think we did.
I haven't done that one yet. I'm going to have to tune in as not a guest, but as a viewer on that one.
This one is, well, the door is open, PJ. Anytime you want to be a guest on this show, you are a part of the journey. Q&A Maker is really freaking awesome, y'all, because literally all you do, and PJ, I'm going to say this out loud, and I think you're going to have the same response as me saying it'll take 10 minutes to make a bot. So first we're doing today, then next week we're doing 10-minute bot with Azure Logic Apps. Maybe we'll do a stopwatch or something and try to time each other making one. Week 3, so Q&A Maker is witchcraft. It's magic, because you just literally, if you have a PDF of Q&A, just like a question and an answer, it will make a bot out of it. Like, all you have to do is upload the Q&A doc, and it doesn't have to be formatted a certain way. It doesn't have to be an Excel sheet. It doesn't have to like do anything like that. It'll just automatically use like machine learning basically to be like, oh, this is the answer to this question, this is the answer to this question, and then you can just go into the UI and train it. It's honestly the coolest thing I've ever used. And like,
here's a PDF and out comes a bot. That's a wild situation. That's amazing.
I've done it. I'll actually show real quick. I think I have a dev. Why is this in incognito mode? Oh well. Chloe.
To avoid caching.
Scondon. Wine bots.
Wine bots.
I built a wine bot that with a friend of mine who was a sommelier training to be an engineer.
Yes.
And literally with Q&A Maker, you just upload the file and then you kind of go in and train it. And so like we had all these questions in there like, does this pair with a white wine? Does this pair with a red wine?
Yeah.
And we didn't have to like painstakingly go through and like enter each thing, just like it was PDF. It's pretty cool.
That's pretty amazing. So that's going to be the third week you're using Q&A Maker. What are you doing after that?
Then I'm doing making bots with the Azure portal. So that's going to be more like when you want to embed like a bot into your website, or like I've seen this a lot with customer service things or frequently asked question kind of things. Q&A Maker is great for that too. And show and tell with bot makers, which I didn't ask you yet, PJ, but I was thinking you could come back for it. We'll see.
I might be available July 29th. I might be able to make that work.
Okay. Well,
Maria is a sommelier.
What? A weed bot. Yeah. I mean, like, you can make any bot, like, for anything, truly. I'm going to link to that sommelier post.
How many bots have we made? Like, between the two of us, Chloe, I think we've made close to 10 Twitter bots now.
Ooh, you know what? If you have time, I was just about to go through all of them with our viewers, and we can kind of give them a tour de bot, if you will.
Tour de bot.
It's like Tour de France, but
with a bot. Is that where you like ride a bike through a bot, or you ride a bot through France?
You ride a bot through a bike.
Okay, got it. That makes more sense.
I dropped a link in there for the you can just search on DevTube, but it's I think the blog post is called "Why Not Build a Bot."
We love a pun here.
We love a pun. So yeah, I was just showing our lovely viewers. We have 33 viewers. Hi y'all. If you're just joining us, tell us why you joined today. Like, are you super interested in bots? Do you have bot experience? Are you totally new to bots? Where are you joining us from?
Drop your bot knowledge.
People from Australia.
I saw Taiwan, which by the way, Taiwan is one of my favorite countries that I've ever been to. It was amazing.
Oh yes.
Absolutely amazing.
Love it there. This is Mariabot. I was just telling right before you came
Mariabot,
surprise cameo.
That was the first one that we did, and then we quickly followed it with like 2 right in a row. Mechanical Carry.
Open here. Oh, sorry, I'm going out of
order.
We've got
Just Bot Page. So yeah, that one, Badiana Grande and Mechanical Carry were at the same time, basically.
Let me find Mechanical Carry here. I'm sure she's following this account. She's not.
I don't know. Oh well, Just Bot Paid was that was like a late edition. It took us like 3 streams to make Just Bot Paid work.
So Mechanical Carry. So we should start out by saying we built Mariabot. Her only functionality to start with was every day at, let's see, what time is this tweet?
Started noon Eastern Standard Time.
9 for me. It would tweet, "Let's go, girls," and it's pretty fun. We get a lot of feedback that it brings joy into people's lives. But then we built on a second feature,
Yes.
which you can see
And that
right
one we
here.
had to do in code.
This one we took out of Azure Logic Apps. So if you're joining us next week, we're going to build a similar bot to this and a similar bot to the Brittany bot, which we'll show in a second. Here, I'll just get her up here. It's Brittany bots. Again, y'all, this is very all very fun and playful. So if you don't like to have fun, definitely leave the stream now.
We're here just for fun.
So,
I mean, we're gonna you're gonna learn how to do things in these streams, and that's the whole point of the series, to show you how to do stuff. But like, there's a perfumey air of fun all over all of it.
We should have added a requirement: must love pop divas of the 90s.
You have to really like the pop divas. That's how you get in. That's the password.
So,
I love pop divas.
You can see here that, and these streams, I believe, we should try to find the links, and I'll put them in the show notes if we have recordings of those streams, PJ. But we basically spent a couple streams during the pandemic building the code out so we decided, okay, now that we have it, it's super easy. It just tweets every day at 9 a.m. Let's go, girls. What else can we make this bot do? And then we decided that we wanted, if someone tagged, because we had learned a lot about the Twitter API and like how the Twitter API works. And we decided, okay, what if someone said, tagged Shania and said, are you impressed? It will respond with that don't impress me much. So you'll see if you go to our bots, so mostly our bot just tweets out, unless it is summoned, of course. So
Summoning.
Oops, this tweet was deleted by the author. So let's find out actually. Here's one. So PJ clearly, let's find one in context actually. It's funnier when it's not us just testing it. So here we go. I summon it quite a bit. Here's me announcing, this is very meta. This is me announcing the bot series. And I said, are you impressed? Bot Shania. So really what we did in our code is we said, and you know what, PJ, we may have to have you come back to walk through this code for the 5th episode of this.
I would do that, absolutely.
Because then it'll be full circle. We'll go from the basic Shania bot to the full version. But I quote retweeted this announcement for the very series we're on right now. And then I said, are you impressed? So as long as it has the string impress in it in some form. So it can be impressed, impressive,
impressing, impressed,
impressing,
impresario, impression.
And it will respond with these emojis, which we chose these based on lyrics in the song that don't impress me much, and tag you in it as well. If you want to go and do this right now, y'all, you can go here. I'll drop the link to our Shania bot. If you just want to like tag Shania bot, tweet Shania bot, and say, hey, are you impressed? Is this impressive? You can do that right now, even if you're not watching this live. It's just something you can do at any point. And I can't wait till we get random pings to Shania bot and we'll know it's people. Actually, tell you what, if you're watching the stream now live or later and you are asking Shania if she's impressed, like somehow, like, I don't know, put a like bot emoji in it or something. Like, let us know that you found it through this.
A little robot emoji is the indicator. Absolutely. So
Shania bot grew after time, but then we also made Brittany bot, and as if you can't tell, this is me. We love pop divas of the 90s. It's sort of our divas live, if you will.
It's our oeuvre.
Ooh, let's see. Can we make any local bots? Any frameworks without internet? Yes. Later in the series, we'll be doing some things that you can run locally. And I should have mentioned before we got diving into all of these bots that we made. Well, actually, I'll ask you, PJ. What was the first bot that you ever interacted with? Do you remember?
Oh my gosh. I don't think there's one that like sticks in my memory, because like learning about bots is something I started doing when I met you. And so I knew about bots and I had heard them talked about because in the 2016 US election, they were a hot topic of these accounts that aren't really accounts. And that's kind of the first time I really heard it talked about. But my first interaction with a bot, I can't say, because it probably happened without me even knowing.
I know what mine is, and you probably interacted with this bot as well. You were on AOL, right?
Yeah.
On Instant Messenger, I'm aging myself here. On AOL Instant Messenger, Smarter Child.
Smarter Child. I used to message Smarter Child all the time and think it was so funny and make like screenshots of our conversations.
If you're not familiar with Smarter Child, let me show a visual for some of the youngins at home. Ooh, some of these are not. Okay, let's see.
Chloe, make yourself the big boy on StreamYard.
I will in a sec. Let's see. Okay, some of these aren't really.
They're usually not.
Cool. So this was AOL Instant Messenger. It was an old chat app that we would use back in the day to communicate with our friends in middle school and high school. And this was this bot that I thought was so cool because you would send a message and it would immediately respond. Like, it would just be like, hey, are you real? No. Or it was essentially a Q&A maker bot. Like, they just had all of these responses to be like, if it has the keyword of a cuss word, say, hey, that's not nice. If it has the keyword of, but like at the end of the day, like when I was in middle school, I thought this was magic. Like, I couldn't figure out, I was like, is someone typing all of these? How are they messaging all my friends at the same time? But truly, this was just code that said, when this keyword is written, respond with this. Which is why sometimes you'd get like a weird response from it.
It'd be really cool to see the code for it.
Did anybody use Smarter Child other than us? Let us know in the chat. This may have been a US thing, like, or a very niche thing. But that was my first introduction to bots. And then also, I was thinking about in preparation for this stream, like, what other bots I've encountered in the wild. And when you think about it, like, when you make a call to a customer support place, that's a bot. Like, being like, are you calling about your prescription? Yes or no? And then it'll be like, no. Please say again. So those are bots. There's also, I think the most popular one that we think of is Twitter bots. But there's also like spamming bots, right? That like spam things like Reddit or I'm trying to think of like, let us know in the chat any bots that are your faves or your least fave even. But that's why this first intro episode is all about ethical bot creation, because I want to make sure before we get started that everybody who's joining us on this journey is making bots for the good of the internet.
You have to promise and pinky swear and cross your heart and promise that your bot's going to be nice and it's not going to be rude. Promise,
we have this great comment. AOL and Yahoo chatbots, crazy stuff, late 90s and early 2000s. It was the Wild West of bots, truly. And
think about the 90s and 2000s, like what that code would have been written in. Like, this is before what we know as like modern like developer like stuff. Like JavaScript was like 2009, 2008 maybe.
I'm looking up right now Smarter Kid code. I'm not finding anything.
I did Smarter Child code, but I did end up on the Smarter Child wiki page, and it had at one point 30 million instant messenger buddies.
Wow.
So it was pretty out there.
Here, I'm going to read this. Smarter Child was an intelligent agent or bot developed by ActiveBuddy Incorporated with offices in New York and Sunnyvale. It was widely distributed across global instant messaging and SMS networks. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Smarter Child developed intimate friendships with over 30 million instant messenger users on AOL and MSN. I didn't know it was on MSN also. We've got people in the chat saying they remember. We remember the bots. RPA automates boring, repetitive work. Yeah. It was born in late June of 2001 to enable users to access real-time news and information. I only used it to talk to as a friend.
I was never like, hey, Smarter Child, what's the news? I was like, hey, Smarter Child, tell my girlfriend I'm funny.
This is interesting. The bot was initially developed and deployed to function as a demo for ActiveBuddy's capabilities, including having the means of distributing content and services via instant messenger.
I'm going to be reading this whole history later for sure. Like, I'm going to do a deep dive into Smarter Child now.
This is very cool. And what's really cool is nowadays there's companies like Octane AI that my friend Ben works at that literally make user interfaces for like celebrities and companies and people to build their own bots like through a UI. So there's so many ways now that bots have become accessible for folks. With Octane AI, they work with celebrities like Lindsay Lohan and stuff, where you can opt into messages from
Message
Lindsay Lohan,
Lindsay.
and she can like send things out and you can send things back to her. So bots have really come quite a long way. But yeah, Smarter Child was my first bot. I'm pretty sure. I can't think of a different one before that. But what's really cool is we're starting to see bots even in like Disneyland, like at theme parks. There was this new thing that I saw with the Tinkerbell. It was like a beta thing that they were testing out, where it's a meet and greet with Tinkerbell, but Tinkerbell's a hologram, and you can say different keywords and stuff, and she interacts with the children. I mean, how magical is that as a kid?
She'll say
cool.
names. It's pretty interesting. It's pretty wild.
I guess E.T. at the end of the Universal ride is not a bot. It's just NLP, natural language processing, going slow. If you've never been on the E.T. ride at Universal, you give them your name, and then when you're leaving the ride, they go, "Bye, PJ.
Bye, Jeff."
No, bots can never phonetically say my name.
Chloe.
I guess my fake boyfriend was kind of a bot. But
It's sort of a bot, yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
But so you did Britney.
This one I think I built while you were struggling with some Shania
code. I was struggling with Just Bought Paid.
Just Bought Paid, and I built this with an Azure Logic app, which is what we're going to learn about next week. And really, y'all, all this does is it here. Let me zoom in. Is it tweets? It's Britney bots every day at the same time.
That's
it. I built this as part of the Free Britney movement, #FreeBritney, and it was just, we were on a roll making all these diva bots, so I made this one. So this is one of our more basic, simple bots, but don't worry, there's more. We also have Mechanical Carry, also known as Mariabot, and this one is a bot that is triggered, not emotionally, just triggered by a certain set of emojis. So if you send, and you can do this right now, if you respond with this emoji combo, it's the side eye, the eye roll, and the, what is this emoji called? PJ?
Is it like the
unamused,
like the unamused, like the bored emoji?
I'll put it in the chat so people
it's like
can. If you use those three emojis and tag Mechanical Carry, it will respond, I don't know her, which is a popular meme of that Mariah Carey is known to say when people ask her if she knows Jennifer Lopez.
Do you know Jennifer Lopez? She goes, I don't know.
I don't know her. So this is just a bot that responds, because we wanted to test out, okay, we've done something where like it tweets out, but what if we trigger it? And so that's Mariah's functionality.
We really had a run where we were just asking Twitter bots based on female singers to like say rude things to us, and if that leads me to some questions about myself. But moving on, Badiana Grande.
Badiana Grande, she has her directions here that says, if you ever need someone to move along, just let me know with a tag and some eyes and nail painting, and I'll kindly ask them to get gone. Now, this is referencing, for any of our international friends tuning in, there's a popular Ariana Grande song called Thank You Next, and this is a nod to that song, where thank you next. Where, and typically this is something said in pop culture where someone's like,
it's the talk to the hand of 2017.
Like, thank you next. No thank you.
Well,
It really
good.
means no thank you.
Moving on.
But if you tag Badiana Grande, let me show them here.
Yep.
And say, this applies to boot camps too. I didn't tag Badiana Grande here. PJ did, and he used the side-eye emoji, and which was really cool. We didn't think it would work with emojis, and like that was
a big. And the only reason it works with emojis is because they're technically part of that 8 set. Like it technically counts within regex, and that's why we were able to use it.
But it's very simple. Just responds thank you next. That's all this bot does. Are we missing any? We also have Just Bought Paid.
Just Bought Paid, which every Friday tweets out a clip from the NSYNC song Just Got Paid, because if you get paid on a Friday, there's nothing better than celebrating that with the boys with NSYNC. That one also has a respond feature where you can tag it, and if you use 3 money bag emojis, it will respond with a GIF. You're gonna have to go back a while. I haven't tagged that. There it is.
There you go. I didn't
And that's
know
a
that
GIF
was
from
feature.
that's a GIF from the original version of the song from the 90s.
Amazing.
And I did that for people who don't get paid on Fridays but get paid on the 1st and the 15th, or on the 15th and the last day.
Wait, we have to show this tweet. It says, I can't believe it's working. This is like
Because this was such a hard bot, because it was no longer just responding with text, it was responding with a GIF or a video. And the process for uploading that with the Twitter API is much, much, much more complicated. This increased... That code was a nightmare for me. I was like asking people for help. I was like reaching out to random people on the internet, like, hey, has anyone ever done this? And I finally got it to work with some real Frankenstein code.
This is
but
such
it
a
works.
classic developer test message. Tell us your favorite developer test message that you've written in
What
the
do you write when you're hoping it works?
So these are all of the amazing, wonderful bots. And guess what? If you're thinking like, oh, I'm getting some ideas. I want to make a Bon Jovi bot that says I'm halfway there, halfway through the day. Oh my God, I guess we have to
don't make it, because I'm making it now. That's amazing.
You know what? Here's the thing. We've only got 20-ish minutes left of the stream. We still need to talk about short bots. We may have time to make that live on stream. Because, ironically enough, y'all, and I will find a link to this right now. You'll notice I'm not logged into my account, PJ.
I did notice. It's the bot daddy.
The bot father with 2 T's.
Oh, the bot father.
And this
I said bot daddy. That's weird.
This is a bot that I built live. Let me grab that episode to share with folks. This is actually, PJ, we talk about you a lot on this video. Let's see, Logic Apps, Azure Funbytes, Chloe. I did a stream with our dear friend, well, I guess you haven't met Jay. Jay is actually who taught me how to make Logic Apps. So shout out to Jay. We love Jay. But you can check out this post, which I'm going to drop in the chitty chat here. All about Azure Logic Apps. We're live on stream. I think it was similar where we're on the stream we built the bot father live.
That's
and
amazing.
Basically what the bot father does is let's take a look. Every day it tweets, leave the gun, take the cannoli. Which is a quote that live on camera, we did it all live. We didn't plan it ahead of time. There's a link to that in the chat.
That's amazing.
We just on the fly, we're like, hey, should we build something? And I was like, you like the Godfather. Let's figure out any Sopranos quotes or stuff like that. I still need to add a profile pic here because we literally did this in the last 5 minutes of the stream. So go to the end if you want to see us make a Godfather live on that video. But let's talk about shirt bots. And while I do, let's see. Oops, I just made this very big on my screen. PJ, tell the folks who you are and what you do. Before you came on, I told them there's this guy PJ, used to be a teacher, blah blah. But we probably had some people join later. Tell them about yourself while I get this together.
Absolutely. So my name is PJ Metz. I was an educator for 11 years, and in May of 2020, I decided to start learning how to code without really knowing where that was going to lead. And eventually I decided that I did want to make a change in careers from teaching into something in tech, specifically with code. I ended up going a little bit in between. I'm now working at GitLab as an education evangelist, and my job is to help people in education. That's going to be students, professors, universities, people who are doing research. Help them to get the best tools the best tools that GitLab has to offer to help them with collaboration and teamwork and keeping track of their code. Or beyond computer science and beyond engineering, we also have people that are using GitLab to do fashion design and stuff like that. So my job is to just help people get access to GitLab and to be myself a whole lot on stream. So I'm kind of working right now.
What's the fashion design use case for GitLab?
Yeah, so because GitLab is a collaboration tool, it's not just about Git repositories. The way that it uses issues and the way that it uses projects allows you to iterate through things as a team. So let's say you've got like a markdown file where you're keeping all your discussion about how you want to present things, and maybe that's like the text for your for a magazine. As you do that, you can make different versions and you can pull it locally, work on the markdown text and push it back. But also, our corporate marketing design uses GitLab itself to pass like iterations on logos and iterations on design and stuff to each other. And then they'll say, "Oh, we like this one. Let's merge that. Let's do this," and they can collaborate on it in real time in the issue and in things like epics, which are big groups of issues. And so we are at GitLab, we're big on using our own product. So we do all of our work in GitLab. It's pretty crazy. So yeah, I made it into tech, and now my job is not just with education. I also do some just basic DevRel stuff and creating articles to show people how to make a Twitter bot, which Chloe I shared in the private chat if you wanted to share, but don't feel like you have to. And doing things like this with Chloe and my good friend Brandon as well. We just like sharing the good news about tech in general.
So if anybody is watching this and doesn't have any previous coding experience, Exhibit A. He started with bots.
That was me 395 days ago. No lie.
Not that he's counting. Y'all, this is not just me sharing a picture of myself. This is the beginning of the shirt bot story. So, and this is why
Chloe,
this episode...
I'm going to let you tell this story, but I got to run.
Yes. Have fun. Thank you for joining us.
I will be back on this stream in future Thursdays. Thank you for having me. And y'all pay attention to this story. This is a really good one about ethical bots.
Ethical bots. Bye, PJ. Thank you. We're definitely going to have PJ back. He's totally coming back. Okay, so this isn't just me sharing a picture of myself, I promise. So you'll notice I'm wearing a shirt in this picture that says girls just want to have fundamental human rights. This is a picture of me that I took during, well, not too long ago, maybe a couple months ago. And I tweeted this, and a bunch of people started commenting, "I want that shirt. I want this on a shirt." And an interesting thing happened to me that had never happened to me before, which is all of these bots kept commenting and saying, "I found the shirt here." And it has a similar shirt, same text, but it's clear that some sort of like AI built this, right? Like there's not just someone scraping the internet 24/7 and doing this. So I had an epiphany and I realized, oh my goodness, this is just like some bot and machine learning spamming myself or spamming me to try to sell t-shirts. And I got really upset. Why did I get upset? Because first of all, I come from an artist family, so I know how important it is for folks to get paid for their art. But more importantly, I know a lot of people who are designers whose shirts I wear. So there were a lot of experiences that I was finding where I would post a picture of my shirt and these bots would start commenting and say, here's where you buy it. And I got really upset because, my friend Mary designed this shirt and I wanted to make sure that everyone was buying it from my friend Mary and that she got actually paid for the work that she did. I'll drop the link to Mary Nugent's awesome Etsy store that has all of these great programming shirts. But I got really upset because I was like, oh my gosh, like why do these bots exist? This is like a kind of not harassment. Well, kind of harassment, right? Because it was spamming my account, which was really annoying. As a bot maker, I found that really annoying. It also was taking money away from artists. I've seen this a lot with enamel pins. If you've ever seen folks wear, the cute little enamel pins, a lot of times larger companies will try to copy those designs and sell them as their own. And I thought, wow, this is really bad. Like I want to make sure that like any kind of bots that I build never do anything like this. So I started kind of playing with it, right? I was like, am I crazy? Is this actually happening? So I tweeted this and I said, comment, "I want this on a shirt. I'm testing something." And I put this silly meme that's, pretty much public domain. But I was like, I tweeted about this design and all I got was this unlicensed shirt from a Twitter bot. Pretty simple design as a joke, right? And sure enough, it took, let's see, they deleted it because it's a bot, but it didn't take that long. This was at 2:26. I tweeted this at what time? Let's see. Oops, clicked on the wrong thing. This was tweeted at 2:04. And the first bot, it looks like it tweeted somewhere around 2:26. And look what happened. It made a shirt. Isn't that wild? Like, it was like, oh, here's a shirt, because I had a couple hundred or so. I have a bunch of followers on Twitter. So a couple hundred or so people commented, I want this on a shirt. I want this on a shirt. And this bot started responding with this shirt. So I thought, wow, this is really interesting. And I hate it because I don't want bots to ever be hurting anyone, taking, money away from folks who should be getting credit for their designs. So I tested it again because, it's always fun to test these things out. So I, in preparation for this show, so back in late May, when I decided I was going to start streaming about bots, I tweeted this lovely image of the mother from Arrested Development, rest in peace, lovely actress, that said, I tweeted as an experiment in ethical bot creation, and all I got was this shirt. And in fact, all I got was this shirt because it did this. But I wasn't satisfied, right? I was like, okay, close, but I want the actual image on there. And so as time went on, you can also get it in a polo, of course. Isn't this crazy? Like, let me know in the chat if you've ever seen any bots like this before, because this was my first interaction with something like this on Twitter, and I thought it was so strange. Then it finally, there was a different bot that put the image. And so then we started playing with it and being like, I want this on a shirt, meaning like, I want the picture of the shirt on the shirt. You can't trick them that far. But isn't this wild? Like, you can just tweet, and you can try it for yourself. Tweet an image and ask people to comment, I want this on a shirt. And this will inevitably happen to you. And the reason that I share this isn't because I love shirts. Obviously, I love shirts. I always excel. This is the one I'm wearing today. Nice little Microsoft pun for you. But I realized as this was happening, I really wanted to make sure that when I taught this bot series, that I taught people about how bots can be abusive and how to make sure that you're making sure that your bots are ethical, and that you're not harming anyone with your bots. And this is something that I just want you to keep in mind while you start building your bots is, what purpose does my bot serve? Is it helping people? And I would say, is it helping people, and is it making people happy? If the answer is no to either of those, don't make the bot. That is my rule of thumb. I like the internet to be a lovely, fantastic place for people to enjoy themselves. I'm a woman online. It's not easy to be a woman on the internet. There's a lot of harassment on there. So this is me just sharing with y'all kind of a use case for this. Like, think of other ways that bots could be abused. I mean, I don't want to give a bunch of examples for folks for ways to start abusing bots, but I get targeted on Twitter all the time, like spammed by different things that are technically bots. And we really want to make sure that bots are never targeting any specific people or demographics. Our bots should either be helping people, so like chat bots or customer support bots, or they should be bots that make us smile, like Shania bot, like Brittany bot. We never want to build bots that are doing harm. We've seen this a lot, of course, with the election. Bots on Reddit, bots on Twitter, bots on Facebook. We really, really, really want to make sure that our bots are doing good in the world. So that is my little PSA on ethical bot creation. We've got about 10 more minutes left of the show, y'all. Let me know. I got a couple more things to share here, but let me know in the chat what your bot questions are, or if you have any questions about what we're going to be doing in this series, what kind of bots we're going to be building. We're going to be building bots in the Azure portal. We're going to be building bots with a PDF. We're going to be building bots with low code, with high code, with all kinds of code. We're going to be having PJ back, of course, to learn how to do a bunch of different silly, I kind of like that Bon Jovi one we thought of, but I also, this is an exclusive. I had someone reach out recently and talk about maybe wanting to do an IoT type bot that when using a Raspberry Pi, when a certain temperature is hit, so like 78 degrees or 80 degrees, the bot will tweet out, it's getting hot in here. A kind of nod to Nelly, the rapper Nelly, because all of these bots are singing themed. But let me know, like, do you have a bot idea? Do you have or if there's a use case that you're looking to build a bot for, maybe we can build it live on the air during the show. I'm super happy to do it. So anyway, that is my little talk on ethical bot creation. And truly, like, I always think of, isn't it Thumper from Bambi? Let's see, Thumper, if you don't have if you don't have something nice to say, don't say nothing at all, is what that little bunny from Bambi says. And that's what I like to think of when I'm building any kind of technology, is if my technology is hurting anyone or offensive, then is it possible to block unethical bots? That is a great, great question. Well, I guess my question is on Twitter. Are you asking specifically on Twitter, SantiTube? Yes, you can block bots on, you can block individual accounts on Twitter, but I don't think there's a way to mass block bots. But what's really nice is that when you, sorry, y'all, I'm just getting the link up here. APIs typically, let's see, aka.ms/gotbots, just bringing the schedule up for our other ones here. What's really cool about the Facebook API and the Twitter API, which I both worked with pretty extensively, is they have, for the most part, things built in that help from making bad or spammy bots. So for example, with the Facebook API, and again, I haven't used the Facebook API since, oh my gosh, like 2016. I'm not on Facebook anymore, but with Facebook, the API does not allow you to post on other people's walls. That is very intentional because then people could like spam post, right? But you can do things like, so you can post your own account. So I built an app using the Facebook API that essentially I could choose. I built it because I used to travel a lot, and I would be in Japan or I'd be, in England, and I was being a silly person and wanted to tweet when my followers on the West Coast in the United States were awake. So I built an app that used the Twitter API and the Facebook API to post at a future time that I specify. And it was very interesting because I couldn't post to other people's walls. And I thought, oh, why is that? Like, isn't that a huge feature of Facebook? And then I realized, because if that was the case, people would just be spamming people all the time. Like, there's a bunch of ways to abuse that, right? So I have to give some applause to Facebook. Hopefully that's still part of their API. Not part of their API, but something that they've kept out of their API. But with Twitter, you can't really you can block unethical bots, and that and I think we even saw in some of these tweets here that a lot of these bots who commented, their posts were deleted. So Twitter has gotten a lot better at identifying these bots and getting rid of them. But yeah, there's no way to really mass block bots, unfortunately. I think because they just kind of assume that everyone, I guess how we assume everyone on Twitter is going to act nicely. And but yeah, let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. But did I answer your question, SantiTube? If you meant something more specific, let me know. But as far as blocking bots is concerned, I always report unethical ones. Please don't report Shania bot and Brittany bot. We love them. But all of those short bots, myself and a bunch of my followers reported them. And those help them get off the platform. But it's very easy to spin up, and you'll find when we do next week's episode, which is making bots. And again, if you guys want to check this out, you can go to aka.ms/got. I'll type it in here, got bots, and that will bring you the page that will show you what I'm looking at here, which is this lovely series page. But yeah, we'll show you how all of this kind of works behind the scenes. We got another question here. Can a bot use one or more specific websites search feature to get me the results instead of me searching? Let's use job search as an example. Yes. And that is something that we can definitely, I think specifically there's a bunch of Learn modules with Bing search, but absolutely you can use a search engine within a bot. You probably though, so here's the thing you need to think about with bots is it's going to obviously be kind of not costly in a monetary sense, but searching, if you have something like Q&A Maker, it's going to run very fast and efficiently, obviously, because we have a set of questions. A search engine bot. So I guess it depends on the use case. Who is this? Dilshard. So yeah, you could do a bot. I think we had a student in Bit Project recently who had, it was either a browser plugin or a bot. It might have been a browser plugin that could check news bias. So yeah, your bots can absolutely search. That's really what things like Amazon Alexa and Google Home are, just kind of doing a search for you on behalf of a bot. So totally doable. In fact, thank you for mentioning that, because I'll try to incorporate that into the curriculum. But yeah, there are a bunch of different ways to make bots, obviously. I was also going to say, you'll see how just easy it is to spin up a bot. So truly next week, when we make these making bots with logic apps, what this is going to be, and we'll see if PJ comes back, but it'll be about probably 10 minutes to just make the bot. We'll do a little intro, but really all you have to do is create a Twitter account. So like, let's say we end up making that Bon Jovi bot that says, we're halfway there at the half of each point of the day. I kind of love that one. I think we should do that one next week. So let's say that we do that. Really all we have to do a logic app bot, like we're going to do next week, is we make the Twitter account. Of course, if you want to tweet from your own account, that's totally fine. But with my bots, I just like make individual bots. We're going to make a Twitter account. We're going to open up the Azure portal, open up Logic Apps, create a Logic app, and then sign into that Twitter account in the UI. And truly all we have to do is just put like at this time. You'll see. It's basically just imagine like a cron job sort of put into a UI in a sense. If you want to check out Logic apps ahead of time, I shared this a little bit earlier, but again, this lovely video slash blog post by Jay and I goes through all of that. If you want to get a head start, go for it. It's a really fun one where we make the bot father. But yeah, it's super easy. And what's really cool is it doesn't just have to be a bot that tweets every day at the same time. Like that's the most basic one you can do. But as far as like other things you can do, actually, let's see. Do we have time? We have a couple minutes. Maybe we'll do a sneak peek. You know what? We'll save it for next time. But what's really cool is you can also do a bot in Slack. You can also do a bot in Teams. You can make a bot. There's so many different out-of-the-box ways to build bots with Logic apps. But the even cooler part is it doesn't have to be triggered by a time. It can be triggered off other things. So anytime someone uses a hashtag, if you want a Slack message, like you can have a Slack channel that anytime someone uses the hashtag Chloe rules, or let's say got bots, that you get a message in Slack. So there's so many ways. And in fact, we're going to build a couple bots next week. We're going to use Twitter and we're going to build one similar to Shania and Brittany and all of those. I love that I'm just naming it Shania bot, Brittany bot, the bots that we talked about earlier in the show. But what's really cool is we can also do all these other features with the bots, like anytime a keyword is used or anytime a certain account is tagged. So basically anything that you can do with the Twitter API, you can do within the UI of Azure Logic Apps, which is super cool because if you've ever worked with the Twitter API before, which, you know, PJ and I have done before to build our own code for Shania bot, it's a little tricky. Like you're kind of writing your own code from scratch. But what's really nice about Logic Apps is it makes it super accessible for like even a business admin could do this, you know, like if you have folks from your marketing team who are coming to you and being like, hey, can you spin up this bot in our Microsoft Teams or Slack or whatever it is that you use for productivity at your work. Like I'm sure, you know, as engineers, we always have folks from other teams coming to us to be like, hey, we'd love to know like anytime our account gets tagged or anytime this hashtag is used. You could in like 10 minutes whip that up for someone or even show them how to do it. So it's a great, Logic apps are just like, I like to think of them as ways for developers to just save time. Just super easy. Don't have to start from scratch. I think as developers, our tendency is always like, we're going to build it from the ground up. And like, but no, this is like a great tool where, you know, you need to be working on code to ship to production for like your app, right? Like let Microsoft handle the bot part of it is what I like to think. But oh my goodness, we're at 4:00. Wow, that went really fast. That was so much fun, you guys. I'm so excited for this series. I love the reactor. It's so exciting to be back in a digital sense with the reactor. But I'm going to be here every week, Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. As I showed before, we've got 5 different sessions here. We'll probably go into the next month as well. Oh, thanks, Maria. Maria says, I can't wait to learn more. I'm so excited that you're joining along for this. It's going to be really fun. And all of the sessions will be available as recordings as well. So if you've got a little vacation or something you need to do, you will not miss it. Also, fill out this lovely survey if you have a few moments, aka.ms/reactor. /survey, and the event code is 13975. And you can say nice things about me. Say how much you liked it. Say, the more, if you fill this out and say you like it, you'll get more of this. Or if you hate it, it'll never come back. No, I'm just kidding. Hopefully you liked it. But yeah, and also I'm on Twitter as Chloe Condon, ChloeCondon. And if you have any bot questions or ideas or things that you maybe want to see streamed on the show, let me know. I'm happy to bend and move this curriculum as people want to learn about different things in bots. But we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to build a lot of silly, cool, interesting bots, and we will see y'all next week. Let's see. Ooh, we've got one good question here. Other than Twitter and Microsoft, do we need any other accounts or logins for the next session? You do not. And I will be also sharing and tweeting out and putting on the registration pages a Dev2 post that's going to have all of the links and details, previous episodes, little blog posts that have like summaries and timestamps that you can check out. So that link will be coming very soon. And I'll be tweeting it out and we'll be putting it on the registration page as well. But no, you really, for next week, all you need is love for programming and yeah, just a Microsoft account and Logic app. And if you want, again, if you want to get a head start right now, in the meantime, you can go to aka.ms/ ooh, let me find it. What was the link? There is a link, I promise. Let me find it. aka.ms/something. I'm going to find it for y'all. And then we will end the stream. But yeah, if you want to get a head start and kind of see how all this works, there is a handy dandy learn module that I'm going to get for you now. Sorry, I haven't had coffee yet, y'all. aka.ms. Okay, / thrilling content, I know, as I look for this link. Gotbots links. Haha, that's what it was. aka.ms/gotbots links will take you here. Oh, it's the one right above my head. I should have just looked up like this. aka.ms/gotbots links will take you for now until I change it over to the main links page, which will have this on it as well. If you want to get a head start on next week, this is the Introduction to Logic Apps Learn module. That will just get you familiar with what we're going to do. It's super, super quick. It says 28 minutes. I think it goes even faster in some ways, but this will really just show you what Jay and I did on that stream, which was get a bot up and running very simply with Logic Apps, but you don't have to do this ahead of time. You can also learn along with me if you want. All right, y'all. This has been so lovely. I'm so, so, so excited that we've all started our bot journey together. This could be so fun. And I will see you next week for even more bot goodness. And I promise to be a little less of an amoeba next week. I'll have an actual green screen and hopefully it won't be as distracting. All right, y'all. Thank you to Dion. Thank you to PJ. Thank you to everybody who joined us in the chat today. And I will see you next week on Got Bots. Bye.